Hey everyone, Becky from Week 99er here. Normally I'm in the office or I'm out traveling, but today I am out showing you one of my biggest reviews. Normally I would try to do this with all the cars I review. The last one I had an injury, so I wasn't able to get this done. But today I am here to show you, and I'm going to switch this around and do a quick walk around of this car. Alright, so this is the Nissan Kicks SR. This is one of the base models of the vehicle. For the first thing, it's just a super cute little hatchback. It does seat 5, but I'm going to show you the back seat is kind of small. So these are just my first impressions of the car, and we will have a full review of this coming up on the site in the next week or two. But if you look here in the back seat, the legroom isn't that much, but that's probably because I have the front seat back all the way. I'm 5'10", so to get the legroom that I needed, the people in the back seat would have to sacrifice theirs. But if you're not as tall or you have kids riding in the back, that is not that big of a deal. So let's look in the trunk. It does have an easy open trunk button up here. Not sure if you can see that. There we go. But look at the trunk space in here. This thing actually has quite a bit of trunk and cargo space, and it's got the easy fold seats, so if you need it, there is more space there. There is not a button or any of those special features that you need to close the trunk. It does have a little handle. That's all you have to do to close it. So from first impressions outside, it is a cute little hatchback. It does get, I want to say 33 miles per gallon. So that is kind of fantastic. But let's go inside and see what's it like behind the wheel. I'm not going to drive the car while recording. That's not exactly smart to do. There are a couple things I will show you that aren't my favorite feature of the car, but that's something that personal preference. I will show you right here. This part here gets in the way when you're driving. To me, it creates a little bit of a blind spot. I don't think that's going to be a problem for everyone, but for me it has been so far. So let's hold on and let me get in here. Alright, so in the car, one of the first problems I had was this is a push button start, which is not a problem. What I had a problem with is if you look over here, there's no button. It is actually down here in the center console, and just like everything else, you just push the brake and then push that. I'm going to turn off the audio really quick. The main infotainment system doesn't have a ton to it. It does have Nissan Connect. It does have, that didn't work. It does have wireless calling. It does have Sirius. Audio does not want to listen and turn off right now. And it does have over here in the features, let me see if I can get them to change. It does tell you your miles, your average mile per gallon. It does show you your tire pressure, and that is very useful, especially in this cold weather type area where you're not 100% sure what your air pressure is. You should be checking this once a month anyhow. So that is very useful. The car does also come with cruise control, and like I said, there's not a ton over here. There is a backup cam. If we put it in reverse, we do get the 360 view. So that is nice. It is kind of a forced 360 view. That is not the top. This car is crimson red, and it just is a kind of stock image, but it does show me what is around me. So when I back up, I feel at least a little bit safer about that. There aren't a ton of bells and whistles. This SR model is one of the base models. I believe the sticker price was $20,000, just over $20,000. So it's a good entry-level vehicle. Let me show you, I showed you outside that part. Let me show you over here. You can see where it kind of goes up a little bit, and for me, when I turn back, I've got a little bit of a blind spot for there. So the two things that I kind of dislike about this, and I've had the car for 2 days, this is the third day, and I will have it for about 4 more days before they pick it up next week. What I don't like is pretty much the design of the door, and this is totally a personal preference thing, but I tend to ride with my arm up here, and there's not enough room for that. So that is, for me, a detractor. I have a certain way that I'd like to drive, and I can't do that here. The seats and everything are a bit lower. The center console here is also really, really low, and like cup holders are way down there. There are some power ports down here though, so you do have that. but it does take some time to find things in the vehicle here. And up here, there's not a lot of space for you to like mount your phone or on anything. But those are just small little things. The only other thing that I kind of don't like is the actual amount of movement here on the steering wheel. The steering wheel doesn't actually move that much. I had to move it up, obviously, for legroom, but it doesn't telescope. Oh, it does a little, but it doesn't move a ton out to give me the space that I would like away from the steering wheel. So these are just my initial thoughts on the Nissan Kicks SR. I will put a link to the full review once we do it in a couple weeks below, and I will put out the spec info on this as well. Like I said, this is one of the base models for just over $20,000 if you are just using this as a commuter car, or you're using this to for your college students or teen drivers. They don't need a ton of space, or your small family. This is kind of an ideal vehicle for that, but it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. But if you're not looking for bells and whistles, that's not a big deal. So I will keep this updated, and I will give you a better review later on the website. Again, the link will... With all of those nitpicky things out of the way, I do want to say that I like overall the design of the Nissan Kicks SR. I'm going to have to check and see what the major differences are between this model and the other ones. But the interior, it's got a nice fabric and it has nice lines. And for a 4-cylinder, it does have a decent pickup. So overall, not a very bad first impression. There's just some little nitpicky things that, you know, I personally wouldn't want in my own car. But I will make sure that all of this is in the review when I write it up. I'll link to that below when we get it up in the next week or two. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. We have more stuff coming on Monday, and we will see you then. Bye.